LA Bagels, we got a problem. Let me tell you why. Over the past few years, the LA bagel scene has become leaps and bounds better than it used to be. At the forefront of that is Courage Bagels, which introduced what I like to call LA style. With some Montreal inspiration, they are super crispy, really light and airy on the inside, really flavorful dough, and a focus on incredible West Coast produce to top it with. Following in their footsteps on the west side are Layla Bagels and Jyan Issac Bread. Let's take a look at what I liked with all three, and then let's get to the bad news.
All right, and before we get to the food, I go on Food Adventures All Over the World, so make sure you're subbed so you don't miss one bite.
Starting at Layla Bagels, where I got the Scarlet On Everything, which has an heirloom tomato, lemon zest, chili flakes, and cream cheese.
I appreciate the amount of everything seasoning on there. It is overloaded. Obviously, the tomatoes in LA are going to be fantastic. A little tiny bit of heat in there is nice. Red chili, pepper flakes, like, hits me. But flavor-wise, it's fantastic. Crusty, maybe not as much like chew as a New York City bagel, but again, we're talking LA-style bagel. It's just a different game.
And the Layla On Everything, which has smoked salmon, tomato, cucumber, pickled onions, capers, and an herb cream cheese.
It's so super salty, which I really love. Cutting through those red onions is fantastic. I'm such a weird tomato person because I feel like in New York I eat shitty tomatoes. These tomatoes are great.
Literally right next to Leila is Gian Issac Bread, where I got the Gravlax Works On Everything with their own sliced house-cured Patagonian salmon, Gina Marie cream cheese, tomato, red onions, capers, fresh dill, olive oil, lemon, and cracked black pepper.
This one is loaded up with everything seasoning, which is really nice. I kind of like got a little burnt, which I prefer. It's like a little more bitter. Just preference though, I like that. Cream cheese has like a little bit weird of a texture. It's like a little too creamy, but tastes great. Nice crusty outside, not a ton of chew, but it's much less dense than I'd say like most normal New York City bagels. So it just, again, comparing apples to oranges, but
I really appreciate the sourdough flavor going on in both of the bagels. I'd say I like Gian Bagel better, but the toppings at Leila more. And finally, Courage Bagels, where I got their burnt everything with just butter.
So I got the burnt everything here. It's a rip and dip situation, so let's just rip it. We'll dip it in a little butter. Really super crusty on the outside. Nice tear, really light on the inside.
And their hand-sliced smoked salmon, cream cheese, tomato, onions, capers, dill, pepper, olive oil, and lemon.
Lox are great, absolutely melts in your mouth. I think it works really nicely with that bagel itself. Because the bagel is so super crusty on the outside, it is a nice texture difference to build up the whole sandwich. Excellent sandwich.
So yeah, some incredible bagels, but let's get to my problems. 1, I don't want an open-faced bagel.
To me, if I go to a bagel shop, I want a sandwich form. If I'm making it at home for like a Jewish event, then I go open-faced.
Preference aside, these are just too difficult to eat without the whole thing just falling apart. I resorted to taking everything off and eating the bagel just with the cream cheese. If you stack it that high, I need to be able to squish it down. 2, a lot of olive oil on everything. I just don't know if it's necessary or really adding anything. 3, I do think Courage is far and away the best of the 3, but the wait to get it is completely unnecessary. You guys aren't making the actual bagel itself to order, so how does it take nearly an hour after waiting online and placing an order to get the bagel to come to me? I mean, come on. The joy of a bagel should be the speed, because you don't have time for a full sit-down breakfast. And if you are looking for New York City style in LA, shout out to Maury's Bagels. Okay, so first impressions, a bagel is maybe a little small. I mean, like, it honestly kind of looks like a mini bagel, but texture-wise, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Look, it didn't pass the looks test when I was looking at it online, but in person it looks a lot better. But we gotta try it, we gotta see. I really like the crustiness on the outside. The chew could be a little bit better. Maybe it's just a touch too dense. I could use a little bit lighter of a chew. Overall though, maybe the closest to New York City you can get in LA, but the bagel has to be way bigger. This is too damn small. Also, way more lox. Not a flox. This is not enough lox, but pretty good. Satisfies.
Well, let me know in the comments which bagel spot looked best to you. If you made it this far, so it'd be great. So go to Food Adventures All Over the World. And here are a few other LA spots I think you love.
it.